So good morning and welcome to this My Money Matters hosted webinar, Understanding the Local Government Pension Scheme. My name is Ian Anderson. I am one of the financial education coaches at My Money Matters, and I've worked in financial services for over 40 years. And prior to joining My Money Matters, I worked for Prudential for 7 years, Prudential being one of the main providers of ABCs in the local government pension scheme. During that time, I've assisted thousands of members like yourselves in retirement early and with more money. And today I'm going to give you an overview of some of the key benefits that you have by being a member of the local government pension scheme, and also some of the options you have of enhancing those benefits further. Please note this webinar is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice in any way. The information that I run through is based on our current understanding of taxation, legislation, and scheme rules. Levels, bases, relief from taxation are subject to change and also treated on an individual basis. And in respect of the investment funds, remember that they can go down as well as up, and past performance of those funds should be seen as an indicator of how they may perform in the future. This webinar may also be recorded for training and compliance purposes. So if anything that you want to revisit, you should also be able to download a recording of the webinar after the webinar ends. As we go through the webinar, if you want to ask any questions, you can do so by making use of the Q&A feature that you'll see at the top right of your screen. Please try and keep any questions that you have in relation to the content that we go through, and also try to avoid sharing any personal details. And what I'll do at the end of the webinar is run through any questions that you have. Now, as My Money Matters expands and grows, we do also, other than just retirement webinars, we do have other webinars that will help your financial understanding of all things in relation to finance. So we have webinars on debt and money management, savings investment, planning ahead for inheritance and wills and estate, and also on insurance and protection alongside the retirement webinar. So feel free to join us on any of those other webinars to help you understanding of those matters. So what are we going to be looking at this morning? So first of all, going to give you an overview of your local government pension scheme itself, how your benefits are calculated. Some of you may have membership across different sections of a local government pension scheme as it's changed over the years, and it's the amalgamation of those different sections which ultimately determine your benefits. So we're going to have a look at that and explain how your benefits are calculated. So those benefits, as I say, will effectively give you a pension for the rest of your life. So really important to understand what that looks like. Now, as good as your local government pension scheme is, and it has a number of fantastic benefits, there's always that option to enhance and improve those benefits further. But what options do you have, and how do you go about accessing them? We'll then look ahead to that key chapter of your life, your retirement, and ask the question, when can you retire? And also some of the things that you may need to consider as you approach that time. And if you're not making any additional provisions for your retirement, how do you start that process? Very straightforward indeed, and I'll explain what that looks like. So let's start by taking a look at your local government pension scheme. As I said, a really good pension scheme has lots of fantastic benefits, some which you may be familiar with, others which you may not. So first of all, it is a secure scheme, so you don't have to worry that your pension is not going to be waiting for you when you retire. That is bound by Act of Parliament, so that will be a guaranteed pension that when that time comes, you will receive, and effectively is going to replace your current salary. Now, that guaranteed income will be determined, as I say, by your membership within the scheme and across whatever sections during your career that you've been a member of the local government pension scheme itself. So that guaranteed income is paid for life. So it doesn't run out after 15, 20 years. It carries on to the day you die. Also reassuring is that your local government pension is index linked. So at a time when cost of living is so much in the news, you have that peace of mind that it will increase in line with the consumer price index, meaning that external economic factors will not diminish the value of it. Assuming you are a taxpayer, well, the good news for you is that you don't pay any tax on the contributions going into your local government pension scheme. So effectively, you are saving money from the outset. On a slightly more morbid note, you do have that peace of mind that if you were to pass away, then a death grant of 3 times your pensionable pay is paid to your nominated beneficiary. And a survivor's pension of up to 50% of your pension is paid to your partner, your spouse, cohabiting or civil partner, and in certain circumstances, eligible children too. Shouldn't be underestimated how much your employer is paying into the local government pension scheme as well. In some instances, that can be in excess of 20% of your salary. Now, if you're at that age where maybe you're thinking of slowing down, maybe thinking about flexible retirement, so not retiring fully, but maybe going to maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Now, flexible retirement might seem quite an attractive proposition. However, I would always let you know that there is no automatic right to flexible retirement. So if it's something that you're considering, always speak with your HR team first before you make any plans. Now, if you're at a time when finances were so tight, you actually considered opting out of a local government pension scheme, there is an alternative to that known as the 50-50 section, whereby you pay 50% of the amount into the pension and get 50% of the build-up of the pension as well. Now, this enables you to retain any ill health or life cover benefits that the scheme offers you. Now, talking of ill health, if you were unfortunate not to be able to work through ill health, again, you have that peace of mind that you have protection on your local government pension itself. Now, this does require 2 years membership within the scheme and is also subject to medical confirmation. And any of you with long service in the scheme, so if you have service prior to April 2008, well, the good news for you is that as well as receiving a pension when you retire, you'll also receive an automatic tax-free cash lump sum as well. So when you look at those benefits, you can see it's a really great scheme, but have you considered how your benefits are calculated, what it may look like, and probably most important of all, whether that's going to be sufficient to do the things that you want to do when that time comes. Now, all of you today will be members of the care section of the local government pension scheme, the career average revalued earnings section, which came into force on the 1st of April 2014. Now, how the current section of the scheme works quite simply is for every year's membership within it, 1/49th of your current salary is banked as pensionable income. So, for example, if you earn £49,000, £1,000 is banked towards your pension. If you earn £24,500, £500 will be banked. So every year, 1/49th of your salary at that time goes towards your pension. And as I mentioned, those contributions are also index linked, so they don't diminish over time. And when it comes to retirement, all of those 1/49th index linked contributions goes towards your annual pension at retirement. Now, prior to the current care section, there was another section of the local government pension scheme known as the 60ths, which was the final salary section, which ran from the 1st of April 2008 up until the 31st of March 2014. Now, how this section of the scheme works is for every year's membership within that section of the scheme, 1/60th of your final salary, so the salary that you get paid before you retire, goes into your total pension income. So if you worked for full 6 years during that section of the scheme, that effectively is going to equate to 6/60ths of your final salary in your final year going towards your pension too. And prior to that section, there was another final salary section which ran up until the 31st of March 2008. Different calculation. In fact, for every year's membership in that section of the scheme, 1/80th of your final salary is banked as pensionable income. Now, obviously, if you only have membership since April 2014, then your benefits are purely going to be made up of the current care section. However, if you have membership prior to that time, you'll see those different sections broken down on your local government pension scheme statement. and it's the amalgamation of those different sections which will determine your total pension when you retire. Now, some of you, as I say, may have benefits across different sections, and what we're going to do is have a look at somebody as a case study to see how those benefits may accrue and what that may look like. So that begs the question is, when can you retire? Well, currently the earliest that you'll currently be able to retire is from the age of 55. Now that is due to change to 57 in April 2028. So depending on your current age, it may increase to 57, but that's the earliest anyone can access any pensions. Now, if you do retire before your normal pension age, then there are reductions. So your normal pension age is also going to be your state pension age. Now, when the current care section came in 2014, the goalposts moved in terms of when you could take your local government pension without any reduction to it. So it changed from 65 to 65 or your state pension age, whichever is the higher of the two. Some of you, that may be 66, 67, may even be 68, effectively meaning that you're going to have to work longer if you don't want to incur those reductions to your pension. There are certain circumstances where maybe you can avoid that reduction. So, for example, as I said, if you had to retire through ill health, if you were made redundant due to business sufficiency reasons, or you've got long service in the scheme, and a combination of your age and your service qualifies for what is known as the 85-year rule. And you get further information on that on your main LGPS members website. So the impact of retiring early, as I said, we look at a case study. So this is Sarah. Now, when Sarah is due to retire at her normal pension age of 67, she's due to receive a pension of 14,920. And because she has membership in the final salary section, the 80th, prior to April 2008, she's also going to receive a tax-free lump sum of £1,118. So that's at her normal pension age at 67. But she doesn't actually want to work until 67. She wants to go before that time while she has the good health to do the things that she wants to do. But if she goes at 64, then her pension is going to be reduced. There's a couple of reasons why it's going to be reduced. One is effectively she's going to have 3 years less contributions going towards it. So under the current care section, that effectively is 3/49. And because she's taken it before her normal pension age of 67, there'll also be some form of actuarial reduction to it as well. Well, if she went at 64, in our case study, she would see her pension drop to £10,843 and also see a slight reduction on that lump sum, effectively leaving a gap of over £4,000. And it's important to realise that that gap of £4,000 isn't just at 67 when Sarah takes her pension, it's for every year she lives into her retirement, because as I mentioned earlier, your local government pension is paid for life. It is also index linked. So if Sarah lives 20 years into her retirement, for example, I'm sure you could probably do the maths yourself and see what potential impact that has. Now, generally, we don't save enough for retirement at a time when people are living longer. So that's why it's really important to ensure that you have sufficient income to do the things that you want to do when that time comes. So given that need for extra income at retirement, what options do you have in terms of increasing your benefits further? Well, one of the options you have is additional pension contributions, whereby you are buying more local government pension. Now, you will get tax relief on the contributions that you, additional pension contributions that you make. You have two ways of purchasing additional pension. You can either purchase it by way of a lump sum, any tax relief you then have to claim back from HMRC, or you can make a repayment for the purchase of that additional pension through your salary each month. And at that point, the tax relief will be done automatically by your payroll. Now, that will increase in line with inflation. You can purchase a maximum of £7,579 of annual pension. It's worth noting that there is a calculator on your main LGPS members website where you can see the effective cost for you for that purchase of that amount. Now, the cost itself is going to depend on a number of factors. It's going to depend on your age, your sex, and how long the repayment period is. Effectively, the shorter the repayment period between now and retirement, the higher those payments are going to be. Generally, you would have to live for around 14 years into retirement to recoup the outlay of additional pension contributions. So it doesn't tend to be a huge uptake of additional pension contributions as a mean of increasing your income for retirement. It's also worth noting that if you were unfortunate to pass away before retirement, then any additional pension that you purchased up to that point would die with you. It would not go to your nominated beneficiary. So that's a really important consideration to bear in mind also. Now, whatever pension scheme you belong to in the UK, you are allowed to take up to 25% of the value of those benefits as a tax-free cash lump sum, certainly much more than what was allowed previously. And any of you who have long membership in the local government pension scheme, so you had membership before April 2008, you'd have been a member of that final salary section known as the 80ths. But that amount you're going to receive is unlikely to get anywhere near the maximum that you're allowed to have. So how to get more tax-free cash? Well, as I said, you do have that option at retirement to exchange some of your pension for cash. The way it works in local government is on an exchange rate or commutation rate of 1 to 12. So for every pound of pension you give up, you'll get £12 of tax-free cash instead. So if you choose to give up £1,000 of your pension, you'll get £12,000 tax-free cash as a lump sum instead. Now, invariably, when you look at your local government pension scheme statement, you'll see your projected benefits to your normal pension age, which will be based on your membership in the scheme or across those different sections of the scheme. And you'll also see an option whereby you can take the maximum 25% lump sum instead. Now, as I mentioned already, that if you want to retire before your normal pension age, then your pension is going to be reduced. And if you then take up that option from your employer of taking more cash, your pension is going to be reduced even further. Now, I understand why people's eyes might light up when they see that tax-free cash lump sum. It's not every day that you get offered that opportunity. But as I said, you've given up valuable index-linked pension at a rate of 1 to 12. And the fact that your pension is index-linked means it's a really valuable resource going forward. Now, I'm sure if you all knew how long we were going to live into retirement, that might make that decision a lot easier, whether to have more pension or more cash. But would it be great if you could actually have both, take as much pension as you can and as much cash as you can also? So you could see one of the other options you have, the employee benefit shared cost AVC, as the means to do so, effectively the best of both worlds. So what the AVC is doing is building up a pot of money in a tax efficient way that you can potentially take back completely tax-free as a cash lump sum at retirement. Now, it's worth noting that the local government pension scheme is the only public sector pension scheme that not only allows you to save in this way, but also gives you the option of taking the AVC back tax-free. So members of the Teachers Pension Scheme, NHS, for example, they don't have this option that you have. There are a couple of caveats to taking the AVC tax-free. One is you take it at the same time as you take your local government pension. And there's also a limit to how much tax-free cash you can take. Now, if you don't know what that limit is, don't necessarily worry too much about that. I can always explain at a later date how we can help you ascertain that figure. Now, one of the key features about the AVC, unlike additional pension contributions, is its flexibility. So if your circumstances change, you can adjust the contributions accordingly. So if your washing machine packs up one day and effectively you need to go down to Currys to get a new one, you can reduce your contributions down to as low as £2 a month, go and get your new washing machine and pick them up the following month. It really is that flexible and straightforward. Now, whilst all local government employees have the option of paying additional voluntary contributions as a means of supplementing their retirement income, not every local government employer offers additional voluntary contributions on a shared cost basis. So the fact that your employer does is fantastic news for you, because it means not only do you get tax relief on those contributions, but also save on national insurance contributions too. Effectively, a double tax break. It doesn't really get much better than that. Let's look at an example just to demonstrate the potential savings that this employee benefit offers you. So if you wanted to pay £250 a month into a shared cost ABC and you're a basic rate taxpayer, what would that actually cost you from your take-home pay? That actually cost you just over £180. So that saving of nearly £70 a month is purely from the tax and national insurance contributions that you save, which effectively equates to a return of nearly 39%. So when you compare that to other forms of savings, such as an ISA or Building Society account, you can see that it compares very favourably. Yes, you could access either of those other options anytime you like. With the ABC, as I mentioned earlier, the earliest you currently would be able to do so would be from the age of 55. But remember, this isn't putting money aside for next year's holiday. This is putting money aside for hopefully the longest and most enjoyable holiday of your life, your retirement. So if you see this for what it is, a fantastic opportunity to save in a tax efficient way and give yourself more options for retirement. How do you start the process? We're quite simply just go to your account at mymoneymatters.co.uk and complete the application form there. Enter your personal details, and from the investment fund guide for your employer, decide where you want your money invested. Your employer will then verify that application, and you'll also be able to set up an online account with the provider too. And participation in the scheme itself will take effect from the next available payroll, which currently the earliest would be May. Now, remember, you've got that flexibility and peace of mind to amend the contributions at any time. So very straightforward to do. So just simply sign into your account at My Money Matters, head to the My Shared Cost ABC page and simply enter the new amount. It really is that straightforward. So you don't have to contact your payroll or HR team. And again, once that's verified, that amended contribution will take effect from the next available payday. Now, I appreciate sometimes you might want to dot the I's or cross the T's or see what scope you have in taking advantage of this employee benefit. One of the ways which we can help you do so is by offering you a one-to-one meeting via Microsoft Teams. At that meeting, what we can do based on your service within the scheme is calculate the maximum ABC you could potentially take back as a tax-free cash lump sum at retirement. Based on your salary, we can also have a look at maximum contribution you can pay in any 1 month to keep your salary above the national living wage, really helping you get the most out of this. Now, we can't give you any financial investment advice. We can talk you through those options, but ultimately we can't recommend. Now, all you basically need for that meeting is your most recent local government pension scheme statement or projection to your desired retirement age. If you're already paying ABCs, have an understanding of how much is in that pot at the moment, and please have your most recent payslip. Before we come on to any questions, if you need any further support after today, you can book one of those one-to-one meetings via the website. You can also email us at support at mymoneymatters.co.uk. Also on the website, there's a live chat facility that you can use during working hours. So if you get stuck, if you've got a quick query or you're completing the application form, you need some assistance, use that live chat facility, or pick up the phone and dial the number shown and speak to our friendly customer services team. Do go to the Knowledge Hub on the website. Why? A couple of reasons. There is a really useful calculator that you can use on that. So effectively, you just put your salary in, how much you're thinking of paying into the ABC. And also, when you're looking to retire, it will do two things for you. It will tell you the cost to you for that contribution, and also give you an indication of what you could potentially build up between now and retirement. Very easy to use, but also very powerful and seeing the potential scope that you have here. Also, appreciate you might want to discuss this with your partner or other half, and let's be honest, pensions maybe not the most exciting topic of conversation, or maybe the easiest to understand. So with that in mind, we have put some short explainer videos on the Knowledge Hub that you can blitz watch Netflix style to cement your own understanding, but also to get that information across to somebody else. If you have any particular queries about the shared cost ABC, you can also log in and download a PDF for the frequently asked questions. That will cover pretty much any question anybody's ever asked, and that will be bespoke to your individual employer. Okay, I can't see any questions to come through, which is absolutely fine. But as I said, if there is anything, by all means, get in touch with us. But hopefully what you see is on top of a really local government pension scheme with some fantastic key benefits purely by being a membership that it gives you, there's also that need to ensure you have sufficient income for your retirement, no matter how near or far away that may be, because ultimately two things are going to determine how fulfilling your retirement is. One is your health, which we can't always necessarily predict or control. And the other, quite simply, is how much money you have at that time. And this is a really great opportunity to save in a tax efficient way and enhance that income for your retirement. But as in most things in life, the best opportunities only fulfill themselves to their fullest extent if you take advantage of them. Thanks very much for listening to me this morning. I hope you have the rest of a pleasant Thursday.